Ooh, I sound good.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I want to
Get
hear
this,
how
like-
I sound. That's not fair. This little snowball of mystery.
Yeah.
All right, Eric and Jen. So how long have you guys lived in Salem?
Ooh. I know you can't answer this
I
question.
can't.
You're
I'm terrible
horrible
at
this.
timelines, and people ask me how old our dog is. I barely remember how old I am.
All right, so I would say most recently we've lived here. I've lived in Salem my entire life, but I've gone on trips away from Salem. So Jen and I moved back to Salem in 2011, probably.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah,
You're asking the lady who has no sense of timeline.
Yeah.
I just
whatsoever.
I'm in the present all the time.
I've been here my whole life.
So, how have things changed since you've lived here the longest, Eric? How have things changed like over the course of your life?
So I'm not sure if it's a change that's been perceived by me just from the act of growing up here, but I think that Salem has grown into a community that I'm proud to be a part of.
Did you feel differently before?
Yeah, for sure. I don't really ever remember much excitement going on. I never had any sense of pride from where I was from, and only upon leaving for a number of years and coming back and then kind of seeing the growth in things to do and events and new faces did I really start to feel this sense of pride. Like I don't ever remember being proud to say, I've lived here my whole life. That made me feel like a townie or something. But now it is a point of pride for me. So I would say that that's sort of a personal change, and more tangibly, and you've probably seen this, just a lot more restaurants, a lot more name recognition, just when we travel outside of Salem, a lot of great development. It just feels like a really clean, wholesome place to be.
So I come from New Hampshire. I grew up on a farm in a really small town. So my sense of community was you go to the farmer's market or the country store and you bump into your neighbors, or you trade hay for...
Big city Jenny over here.
Yeah, my dad was just like such a trader. So that was the sense of community that I had. And so moving to Salem was like, honestly, my biggest fear. I wasn't excited to move down here. You can ask Eric. I just was so scared of feeling claustrophobic and not knowing, like having all these strange faces around me. So the first day we moved in, I walked down to Front Street by myself, thinking like, oh God, why am I here? And when I got there, a gentleman opened the door and said, hi. And I looked back behind me, like, you must be talking to someone you know. And no one was behind me. So I said, hey. And I was like, wow, that was actually really nice. It's like he knew what I was thinking. Yeah. So ever since then, I kind of opened up a little easier. And since we've moved here, it's been, what, 7 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Look at me. I've just noticed a huge growth in just bumping into the same people, having this, even people you don't know when we walk the dog, it's so easy to strike up a conversation.
Yeah, it was almost like a point of contention for you, like I was bringing you here.
Yeah, I felt like
you're
Where'd you guys live before?
You're sucking me out of New Hampshire.
we lived in Newburyport for like 3 years.
Which was purely just the compromise, because it was like the middle point.
Yeah, literally halfway.
And I was so mad. I was in Massachusetts. I mean, I look back, I'm so different now, but I agreed on Newburyport because it was so close to the New Hampshire line. And so it was scary for me to come further down.
What do you think has changed more in the last 6-7 years that you've lived here, Jen? Have you changed more, or has Salem changed more?
It's a really good question. I think I have. I think that I'm opening my eyes and finally seeing things around me that I can take advantage of that may have always been there, and it's obviously growing there's just so much more of a sense of community than I even knew was there. And I love it. And these reoccurring events that we have every year, it makes me feel like I know what to expect every year now, where the first couple years I was like, oh, there's this festival, there's that. Wow, Halloween is insane. It's like, now I know what to expect and I embrace it rather than run away from it.
I think that Salem has really sort of helped take your skill sets and just jumpstart them. So you're seeing so much, we're seeing so much benefit from what we can do and the opportunities that are available here. I mean, whether or not you would want to admit this or not, but you're leaps and bounds ahead of where you would be if you were still in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'll stand by that statement all day.
I know I would be, yeah. I'd be pretty close-minded.
When Jen came here, she was amazed by two things.
You're going to embarrass me?
Modern plumbing. That was crazy.
Like you didn't have to go outside to use the bathroom?
No, not that. Not.
No.
I guess septic tanks are modern plumbing, but the idea that all of our
Municipal waste was a big deal.
yeah,
You didn't have a truck come by and
we're
pump
all
out your toilet.
connected,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
He explained this to me one day. In Newburyport, I thought we all had like sewage tanks. It's like, Jen, what? You don't know? He's explaining this to me. It's like my mind was blown.
It's like
And
you
then-
moved here from the Amazon.
Yeah,
know,
for
it's-
sure. And then the act of putting your trash out on the curb.
And having a truck come
Coolest
get it.
Mind
thing ever.
blown.
Yeah.
I remember staring out the window, watching
She was like,
the
wait,
truck
you
come.
don't have to load everything in your car and go to the dump?
Don't have to make a dump run every
That
Sunday.
is nuts.
Yeah,
And like all this free time you have now,
I know.
this free time that you can
Don't
apply
have to go to the dump
elsewhere.
or empty your own septic tank.
Yeah,
Yep, it's
I
so
really wish
nice.
Salem did have a dump though.
I have fond memories of the dump as a child, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Yeah.
I mean, the dump
in
is a
town,
convenience.
I just need to share in town that I grew up in. It's called Da Dump Road.
Mm-hmm.
Is where you find the dump. Da Dump.
So this might be a different question for each one of you, because Eric, you lived here for most of your life. If someone saw you, Eric, walking down the street, how would they know you?
Oh, definitely Goodnight Fatty. I've whether I like it or not, I've become the cookie guy. You're the cookie guy. Yep. I am. Do you have any on you? Nope.
Do people really think your pockets are just full of cookies?
Yeah, we actually started, we've started carrying around chips that you can redeem for cookies solely to help pad the conversation of not having cookies on us.
They're like gambling chips.
Like,
Like
yeah,
the
like poker
equivalent
chips,
to
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Poker
yeah.
chips.
So that you can redeem them for a cookie.
And you don't have to carry a cooler full of warm cookies with you at all
Yeah,
times.
no, it's great. It's it's much more convenient, yeah. So yeah, I've lived here my whole life, but hands down, we started baking cookies and that really jet set how people would know us.
Same deal for you, Jen?
Oh, yeah.
The cookie lady?
Yeah, no, I mean, no one ever recognized me, obviously, before. I was, other than some of the students from the school I was working at, for running their
You went from the
food
lunch
program.
lady to the cookie
Yes.
lady.
Two things I never thought I'd be in my life.
There's that blonde lady staring at that toilet again, wondering how it works.
Thank you, Chris.
So what? Tell us about the origins of Goodnight Fatty. Give us the nutshell version of it.
Like how the idea came about, or I guess
or just
let's-
like why
I
cookies?
could-
Like where did that even?
I honestly like
Did you
We
bake
haven't-
before that? Like was that a thing that you did?
no. Eric was the baker, if anything. Like when you were.
Well, if anything, yeah, but hardly.
That's what I'm saying, if anything. Like, Christmas would come about, and I'd somehow get signed up for apple pie. I'd be like, Eric, you got to make an apple pie. I'm not doing this
yeah.
bullshit.
I take dessert seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
I don't really
yeah.
care about anything but the dessert.
Yeah. So, anyway, the idea, we were about to get married, realized how expensive weddings were, and we're just thinking, like, it would be great if we could come up with an idea to get some extra income to pay for a dream wedding so we don't have to take out a loan. And like, that's ridiculous. And we also don't want to do a standard wedding. We wanted to put our own spin on it. And so, yeah, Eric brought up we were out to dinner one
We had
night.
a destination wedding in Mexico for
Right.
anyone who's listening to this. So it was cool. It was in a hacienda, and
Middle of jungle.
Yeah, middle of the jungle. It was really, really ridiculous. We had 50 of our closest friends and family came down. It was amazing.
We were expecting about 20 people to sign up, and we got 50. That was awesome. So yeah, it all worked out. We got our dream wedding.
But cookies, though, like not everybody says, I'm going to pay for my dream wedding with cookies.
I mean, I can kind of answer this quickly.
Yeah.
It's basically, I'm constantly pitching business ideas to Jen. Jen's slowly making me realize why that's a horrible idea, and killing the idea in the moment. One day we go out to dinner.
Can you give me some examples of ideas that you shot down?
Oh my God.
An example.
I don't know. There's so
A VR
many.
haunted house.
Oh.
But I was kind of into that. I was just horrified of trying it myself.
Okay.
That one I was into. I don't know.
Anyway.
Put that one away for later. Save that one for later. You're in the right town for it.
Yeah, we are.
So we're out at dinner. We are walking home. We want to get some dessert, but we don't want to, drink more or whatever. There's just no really quick options besides ice cream. It's the middle of winter. There aren't any ice cream places really open. And we decide I would love to make a cookie. I mean, I would love to have a cookie right now, but I don't want to make a bunch of cookies. That's horrible. And then you're going to have, a dozen cookies lying around. Who needs a dozen cookies?
And more than that, you want it fresh out of the oven. You want it to be warm and delicious. You don't want to just go buy a cookie off.
Package of Chips Ahoy
shop
just
and
isn't going to cut it.
So maybe we're a little inebriated from the dinner, but we're walking home and Jen's liking this idea, we should start a cookie place. And we commit to it. We make some cookies at home. Jen's convinced, okay, we could try this. We convinced a local coffee shop owner to turn the keys over to us. And then we didn't tell anybody because we were so deathly afraid of being the people who are talking about starting a cookie company, but then didn't do it. We didn't want to be those people. So the first night, Jen was running around in the street literally with a plate of cookies trying to give them away to people.
Oh my God.
And the first customer came in and tried to pay cash, but we realized we never brought a till to make change.
So it's everybody's yard sale experience,
Yes.
basically. Yeah.
You get that 20.
I have a 20. Yeah.
You're okay.
We're oh,
Change.
We're super
yeah,
amateurs.
that's a thing. Here, have these cookies. So that was sort of what happened, and just to be honest, it was met so quickly with enthusiasm and very quickly kind of caught fire, and people started coming every weekend, and it was so perpetuating, just this thing that once we started, it just kept building itself. And as much as we would love to take credit for everything, it really unfolded in front of us, and we just kind of directed the ship as we went. So that's where we're at, and now
we just kept
bakers.
getting we kept getting people saying, I love that you're doing this. I live right down the street, and I love being able to just walk over here and get a warm cookie at 10 at night.
Crazy community.
Yeah. God, that's where the pride comes from living in Salem.
Yeah, just insane support for, just we started in the Derby Street neighborhood, and I mean, just the support from that neighborhood is probably why we're a thing. One sole neighborhood can give birth to a business here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the power of living here.
Very true.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to make Salem better?
Well,
we're contributing to your waistline. We're making everyone bigger.
there's more of you to love. I like to think that we're one of the places you can come and be a child and be as ridiculous as you want to be, without having any alcohol. You can come and have such a sugar high. You're dancing, you're singing, you're playing Trouble or Guess Who, and you get to just kind of let go of maybe a job you hate or something that is grinding you down in life, you can come and have fun with friends and like just forget everything bad in the world.
I would bundle that up by saying, you know, we're a thing to do. And, you know, if you're out to dinner with your friends and you don't want to quite call it a night, you're not sure, we're a great place to come and figure out your next adventure, and have one while you're figuring it out.
If you're willing to brave the alley.
Yeah, the alley used to be dark. It's lit now.
Yeah.
So pretty.
It has a bunch of changing lights that are strung across the top of it, so it's way more inviting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it when the alley thinned out the week, though.
Yeah, we get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. We like to attribute our 5-star review ratings to the fact that the type of people who leave 1 star would never walk down a dark alley.
They're like, well, not the kind of customer we're looking for.
They never even make it to the place where they feel like they can leave a review.
Yeah.
We just have strong-willed, tough people coming down.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
Willing to risk life and limb for a good cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know something else that we've kind of put out there for Salem in general is like there's a lot of local businesses or budding ideas from individuals that really want to give it a go. And I think they've seen our story because we have just put it out there for people to see some of our fails and our strengths and everything. And wins. And I think the wins is what draws people to us. And so they ask us, like, can we sit down with you? We'd really love to, you know, talk to you about what I'd like to do. Do you have advice? And I'm really proud that people do that. And we try to clear out our schedule to sit down with those people to help them take their first step in making their dream business start. Or that's all you need to do is that first step. And everyone's scared.
Yeah, and we started this whole thing with $1,200 on a credit card and nothing else. I mean, we don't have any support system or secret sauce, and we've bootstrapped this every step of the way, and we're building out our first location right off of the Common now, and we've done it all without any loans or borrowing any money, just being able to, you know, keep reinvesting the money that we make from each weekend back into the business. And that is really kind of the beginning for us. So I think that what we're doing is really laying the groundwork to try to help somebody else repeat this in the future. And that's part of our bigger credo or mission is to really help other people take the plunge and see their own dreams come to fruition. And that, I think then we will really have helped Salem. So beyond what our direct, you know, business contribution is or whatever money we donate or, you know, just kind of bolstering the reasons to come to town and supporting that whole scene, I think that we would really like to see somebody be able to build something for themselves, and we're committed to doing that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Erik and Jen.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
First ones.
Boom.